Hello comrades and welcome to your Heroclix headquarters. Today we have top 5 list for you covering our favorite X-Man, Colossus. So without further ado, let's get to the list. Alright, and coming in at our number 5 spot, we have the common Colossus from the Uncanny X-Men. He's super cheap at only 50 points, and he's everything you'd want in a Colossus. He has this trait that just says a unique modifier. When this character is healed by the X-Men team ability, modify its combat values except damage by +1 until your next turn. So that's not bad. It doesn't really come up too often, but he's only 50 points, and he's got charge, super strength, 18 with invincible, and 3 damage. So you can't really ask for anything more than that for 50 points. He's really just your basic Colossus, but he really gets the job done at a discount. And I've used him a ton of times, and I really like him, so he's coming in at number 5. Right. And coming in at our number 4 spot, we have the super rare Colossus from the Fear Itself event. This one is really cool. One of my favorite sculpts, honestly. This is from when he got the powers of the Juggernaut. And you can really see it from his card here. He's got improved movement, ignores hindering, destroys blocking, ignores characters. He's got this awesome movement power. I can't even stop myself. Colossus can use charge. When he's given an action to use charge, if he has no action tokens and an opposing character takes damage from his attack after action is resolved, he can use charge as a free action. So basically, if he just uses charge when he doesn't have a token at the time, and he hits something and does some damage, then he can use charge again and just keep going, keep breaking through walls, keep smashing people, doing tons of damage. He's got 10 movement, 11 attack with super strength, 18 impervious, and 4 damage with shape change. So he does have a couple rollouts, so he doesn't take damage, and he can really dish it out. He is 200 points, so he is a bit pricey, but he is one of my favorites, so he's coming in at number 4. All right, and coming in at our number 3 spot, we have the super rare Colossus from the Deadpool and the X-Force set, and he has some improved movement, hindering, and traded super strength, which is nice to see. And on his movement, he has charge and improved movement destroys blocking, which is awesome again to see that. And then we can take a look at the back of his card here to see his style. He's got some Indomitable, pretty good stats, long life, and I do like the 80 point line as well. Not a lot of life, but good stats, can really do a lot of damage for the points. And you just got to keep him protected, which isn't too hard because you can keep him behind a wall and then charge through it. But I love the sculpt on this guy, and the costume, super cool. One of my favorites, really. I've used him a ton since I got him, so I really like him, and he's coming in at number 3. All right, and coming in at my number 2 pick for Colossus, we have the new super rare from the X-Men animated series Dark Phoenix Saga set. This guy, for only 75 points, really takes what was good about our number 5 pick and turns it to 11, because we'll just take a quick look at his dial first. He's got some charge, super strength. He never goes below an 18 defense, which is insane, and he does start with a 4 damage, which is crazy. Even gets a little perplexed there at the end. He has movement attack, the whole dial, and I like his defense power here. It gives him defend and invincible, and during an attack, adjacent friendly characters that replace their defense value with Colossus's can use invulnerability. So not just giving them an 18 defense, but also giving invulnerability to some of your squishy characters can be just incredibly helpful, really. And then he does also have the Brotherhood of Mutants team ability, which gives him the ability to remove tokens from himself if he rolls like a 10 or higher, which is pretty good. All Colossuses pretty much have the X-Men team ability, which is always helpful. And then I do love his other trait up here, the Mutant Messiah. At the beginning of the game, for all characters with this trait, choose a friendly character. Character with the Acolytes or Brotherhood of Mutants or X-Men keyword. This character can use Mastermind, but only to choose characters with this trait. So not only can you
give somebody an 18 defense and invulnerability, you could just mastermind the damage to him. At least one of your characters can, which is super helpful. And then he also has, the only downside to this guy is his temporary traitor trait, which basically the first time he's KO'd, your opponent gets him back at top dial, adjacent to one of their characters. But as soon as he takes damage, he's KO'd. You just don't get any points for it. But if your opponent's really plans it out, that can come back to bite you. But he's so good for the points. He's coming in at number 2. All right, now before we get to our number 1 pick, we've got a few honorable mentions. I've got a lot this time, so I'm going to try and go through them pretty quick. First, we have the new Colossus from X-Men Regenesis, which, if we take a look at his dial here, he's pretty good. I prefer the 70-point version because you don't really get a whole lot for the extra 30 points to play him at 100. And I prefer him at the 70. The only reason he didn't quite make the list is he is very similar to our number 5 pick, and he's 20 points more. He does have some improved movement and Indomitable and a trait that can come in handy, but for 20 points, he doesn't do the job much better than the 50-point common can do, so he's just not quite on the list. And then over here, we have Colossus from the X-Men, Wolverine the X-Men set, and he's pretty good. He's got this cool trait that if he's adjacent to a Kitty Pryde or a Shadow Cat, they get +1 defense, and then he's also got Defend and Invincible on his defense, and which is alright. He's got some good stats, some long life. He's good for the points. The main reason is that he doesn't have any kind of improved movement, and he's 169 points, so it's pretty rough. And he's really at his best if you pair him with a Kitty Pryde or a Shadow Cat, and if you don't, then you're not getting the best use out of him. So he's just being an honorable mention for now. And then over here, we have the Colossus from the Avengers vs. X-Men. He's 175 points. He does have some good improved movement, which is good. He's also got some Defend and Impervious, which is great. And I really like this special that he has. He can use Charge and Plasticity. And if he has 2 action tokens, adjacent friendly characters can use the X-Men team ability as a free action. Sadly, he only has that on like the top few clicks of his dial. If he had that at the back half where it could actually be used on him to heal him, then it'd be a lot better. And last but not least here, we have the Colossus from the X-Men Days of Future Past. He's got super strength, and at the beginning of your turn, you can use Sidestep. That's a trait, which is really nice. And then he also has on his damage, Close Combat Expert, and his powers can't be countered. His other powers can't be countered. So I really love that. That means they have to outwit his damage power before they can outwit the rest of him, which is really nice. They have to burn 2 outwits. But he has 200 points at his top dial, which is really just too much now. His powers don't really combo like they used to. Back when you could use the Close Combat Expert with the Super Strength. It doesn't work anymore, so he's going to just be an honorable mention. But now on to our number 1 pick. And smashing his way to number 1, we have the new Rare Prime Giant Colossus from the X-Men Dark Phoenix Saga animated series. He's really good. He's really good at any point value, I feel like. At 200, he's got so much life. And at 25, he can do everything just as well almost for only 25 points. He does have improved movement, destroys blocking, and being a giant-sized character, he can already run over elevated and hindering too. He's got this awesome flying debris trait where when he uses charge, after resolutions, deal 1 penetrating damage to each opposing character that's adjacent to 1 or more debris markers. He created this action, so that's just free damage for using charge, and that's a trait, so it's always on. He also has, on several spots of his damage there, he has this Colossal Retaliation, which, as a free action, if no friendly character has been placed this turn, choose an opposing character that attacked Colossus or damaged a friendly character since your last turn. If that character is within the same row or column as Colossus, place Colossus adjacent to that character and make a close attack targeting all characters in the rows or columns between where Colossus began the action and his current square, regardless of adjacency. Hit characters are dealt 2 penetrating damage instead of normal damage. So pretty wordy on that trait, but basically he can just kind of charge up a whole column or row and hit everybody between him and the target, doing 2 penetrating damage, and that's a free action, so he can actually move into position or even charge into position and then rush in and do that, which is pretty strong. When you add that with the trait that does this free penetrating damage and the multiple starting lines, if you wanted to play him at 200 or just 25 or anywhere in between, he's really great and I like him a lot. So he's going to be our number 1 pick for Best Colossus.
Alright guys, well that about wraps it up for this top 5 list. If you like it, make sure you let me know by smashing that like button. And if you didn't, let me know what you would change about it in the comments below. And while you're there, nominate your favorite character for our next top 5 list. And be sure you click that subscribe button. Don't worry, I'll wait. Go ahead and do it. Alright, until next time guys, this has been Heroclix Headquarters, signing off.